Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Lynn Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello. And welcome to this mini workshop. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be doing. I'm going to kind of let the guides drive because I've had several different things coming through. But this is all kind of part of our eclipse prep series, part of our 9 journeys to the eclipse, the March-April eclipse season this year. This is recording this in 2023. However, this 9 series is also a standalone series that can be used at any time. There is a playlist for 9 in Spotify and on YouTube, and you can pick and choose how you want to interact with that content as you see fit. Before I go any further, I want to wrap us all in love light and light love and invite in the guides who overlight this show, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians. I want to welcome all of you here, whether you're new, just finding us today, seeing if you vibe with our tribe, or whether you're returning and you've been around this show, this channel, this energy that we shine out into the world as bringers of the light for quite some time now. We welcome everyone back. You're all soul family. So this 9 series started with the horses showing up. I live kind of by a big civic center thing where they have the rodeo and all that stuff. I can see it from my windows, and whenever the horses show up, there's major intuitive, my intuition just kind of really peaks and skyrockets as the horses kind of contribute to that for me. And so the other day I saw the horses. And I thought it was a one-day thing, but apparently this whole week that I'm recording this, they were here from this past weekend through this upcoming weekend. I'm recording this on a Wednesday, and apparently it's a big town thing. It's not just horses. There's a rodeo, there's bull riding stuff, and today is the tractor pull. So there's all sorts of old-fashioned tractors showing up, on really long trailers, and they're kind of cute. And then there's other things going on around town, it's kind of like our fiesta, in San Antonio. I lived in San Antonio. I mostly grew up in San Antonio most of my younger years. We had a fiesta, and they had a rodeo every year too. So it's kind of for me, that's kind of what it is all week. Things happen all around town that kind of support that same cause, that theme. And when I was checking in this morning, the guidance that I was getting kind of a lot of different stuff, but mainly what this series is promoting is some divine feminine, divine masculine balance, interaction, and healing, just to get you in your highest vibe, your highest state of receptivity for all these new energies coming in. And I don't think really here it starts with those eclipses. I believe it starts with the equinox later on this month. And it peaks at the eclipses, and then everything just kind of opens up and opens out from there in terms of new energies and new experiences opening up for us. The eclipses coming up this year, I think they are aspecting some different signs. So there are still the whole Taurus Scorpio thing going on, but there's the eclipse. The other side of the eclipse is I forgot what it was, Libra, I think this year. If it's Libra and Scorpio, I have to check which ones. But there's some new aspects for the eclipses as different than what we had last year. The other thing that came up was kind of like I was getting in the energies of the Knights of the Round Table and Avalon, which I work with a lot. So Percival and the Grail Quest, and which I think the Divine Masculine, which I know there's many of you listening and watching the show, obviously can identify with that Divine Masculine archetype of the knight. The knight in shining armor, the knight charging forward, the knight, the action, they're saying machismo. Oh, look, that tractor's pulling out of the tractor. Oh, this is so cute. It's very Divine Masculine today, these tractor pull. But the knights charging forward, the Divine Masculine energy, getting things done. And obviously the Divine Feminine's listening to this series too. So if you are not working with a Divine Masculine, you're working with your Divine Masculine energy within. And I think, I don't want to go there. And for the Divine Feminine, I think there's been this archetype of, because I was kind of like, okay, we always hear about the Grail Quest and we hear about the knights charging forward on this quest. Oh, I'm getting so many chills. Hold on. Just have to make sure. We hear the knights charging forward on this quest. Let me just make sure everything's okay. That was like a big bunch of chills. For the Grail, and I was kind of like, so what's the feminine doing in this whole thing, in this whole Grail Quest? Like, what is she up to? Well, the knight's charging forward and looking for the Grail, and ultimately the Grail, I think, is like this knowingness within of who you are. It's this whole heaven on earth we've been talking about with the new Lemuria, which is our on, at least on this channel, is our focus for the year. Heaven on earth and new Lemuria is the energy surrounding us. If that's what you are, reciprocating and feeling like you're in line with, how can we bring that in? How can we bring that heaven on earth in to populate what we're calling a new Lemuria, the Garden of Eden? And I'm not the only one talking about this. I have not listened to it yet. Amanda Ellis posted a video about twin flames just the other day that had to do with kind of like these divine feminine, divine masculine archetypes kind of coming home within us, kind of raising up from the wounded warriors, which I think are kind of like our knights of the round table on this endless Grail Quest. And the feminine, then the balance to that was the ladies in waiting, right? The love, the lover, the queen, the princess, or whatever, the lady who always was there kind of waiting for the masculine, the knight, to come home from this quest. And that's Catahoula approved. So where do we go with this? What's starting to happen here? Because I feel like the energies of this upcoming season, and I may be saying a lot here, oh, the chills, because that's just Spirit's way of telling me I'm on the right track, keep going with what I'm talking about. But I feel like the energies here of this equinox to the eclipses are supporting this rising up of those archetypes of the wounded warrior coming home to the lady in waiting. All she could do was just kind of, hope for the best, hope that everything was going okay. And so in a sense, if you can look at this episode in two ways. You can look at it as, first of all, we should be looking at it internally. You're coming home to yourself. Your divine masculine, coming home to the divine feminine within. So you're further aligning your own light body with with higher relational realities, which we've talked about before. We started talking about a new relational reality when we did our Mandela Gateway series at the end of last year. And this is just, we're just continuing to rise. Like, this is never going to stop, right? The New Earth Now concept is Gaia is rising in consciousness because we're rising in consciousness. Like, we're helping her ascend. We're ascending. You're constant, well, you may not constantly, but depending on what content you're interacting with, you're hearing a lot about the ascension process. You continue to hear about it. You yourself probably get ascension symptoms, the solar flares, the magnetic fields of Gaia shifting, like all of that. And as bringers of the light, we are like the forerunners of bringing these energies in, assimilating them, shining our light out so that there's enough of us in this high vibe frequency that it helps others awaken. Now, we're not saying the whole planet, they're like, it's probably like the 80-20 rule. We're not saying the whole planet is going to ascend during their life, during their lifetime, during your lifetime. Like that the whole planet is going to be 100%, everybody's ascended to their, like they're saying that that's not realistic to think that way. But the goal is to awaken as many people as possible. And we do that by shining our light, assimilating all these energies. And so when you're listening to this, you may be feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm so tired. I am the wounded warrior, no matter who I am. If I'm the lady in waiting, like I've just been waiting so long for whatever, like just slot in the whatever it is that you've been waiting so long for. I've just been waiting so long. I'm tired of almost like this sense of like, I'm tired of holding the field. I'm tired of holding the door open. I'm tired of being like Rapunzel in the tower. Like your body's tired, your emotions are kind of like, they're saying scratchy. What does it mean to have scratchy emotions? I don't know, like irritated, easily triggered or inflamed. Your mental body is just like feeling like, I don't think defeated is the right word, because I don't think the divine masculine or the divine feminine ever feels defeated. I feel like it's kind of like Archangel Michael when he comes in, like, get up, warrior. Like, you may just feel like, oh, so tired of trying. There's another fancy tractor. So there's some levity coming into this broadcast. I'm calling it a broadcast. The Pleiadians coming in, just because the energy right now, whenever you listen to this, whenever, it's timeless, but the energy right now is a little bit like, they're saying downtrodden, because it's just like, I've been fighting for so long. When are things going to shift? You're feeling the consciousness of the planet as well. The collective consciousness, there's like these clouds of things floating around, like, oh, I'm so tired of trying. When are things going to shift? And it's like, well, things don't shift outwardly. So maybe this 9 series, this second episode, and I was like, this pep talk of when are things going to shift? Well, it starts within, right? Before it can happen without. So people that are listening to this are not going to be like some newbie ascended person. You're going to be my spiritual warriors. You're going to have been on this journey for quite some time now. You're going to be, I swear these tractors are so cute. They're so cool. I don't even like tractors, but they're kind of cool. They're like really old-fashioned looking ones. I wish the tickets are very expensive for this thing. Otherwise, I would like go pay to see this happen, but maybe I can just kind of, whatever, who cares? This is like, I guess this is like your get up warrior pep talk, because you're still not where you want to be yet. And if we're talking about the energies opening up starting around the equinox, well, you've got a good almost 2 weeks of getting through it, so to speak. Working things out for yourself, coming home to yourself again. I feel like this is almost like the night coming home and gathering his strength again to start. You can leave if you want. Gathering his strength again to start out on a whole new quest. And you can slot yourself in as the knight in whatever capacity. That's your divine masculine. Gearing up again to get going, or if you are the divine masculine, like you're in this suspended state, like you're like reflecting on all the work that you've done on yourself. You're tired, and it's like you're tired and wired. It's like you want to start something new, but you are having trouble like getting going with it. It's like you know what you want to do, but you're needing that oomph, and the oomph right now is really not. It's not going to come from anything in the physical. It's going to come from like this regeneration process that you're going through between this full moon that happened and this spring equinox. And believe me, I'm feeling it today because y'all know, if you've been around for a while, like I'm not a fan of this winter season here. And it's like the second week of March now. We had a lot of snow last night. We're going to have like 3 or 4 more days of like snow coming up. It's not over. I mean, it's not over. And the snow for me is like a big physical struggle. It shouldn't have, no, it's hard because I have to like work with my dog in a certain way. And it's just very challenging. It's like, get up more, so it's like there's more of the journey to go. This is only the 9 series episode 2, right? We have to get through to 9, episode 9 of 9, because that's what's supposed to be 9 journeys. And this is only the second journey of the 9. And if we get discouraged now, then I don't feel like we'll ever give up, but I feel like we could delay ourselves in a sense. That things that are ready to happen could take longer to happen just because we just don't have the oomph, we don't have the drive, we don't have the whatever to move forward. And so I guess I'm like today, like your little cheerleader. Oh my God. Helping you to assimilate what's coming through, get rid of what's not yours, to hold on to. So if it's collective energy, you guys know how to shift that and move that out of your field and transmute that. And if it is yours, then I'm thinking by now you know how to deal with it and how to move those energies out. Whether it's, for me, like lately when I've been really frustrated, like just going on a run, like is a good thing. Like, but today I can't because the snow to me feels like it's a little bit too deep for me to do that. Too deep and slippery. Where I can't see the ice and spots and stuff. So, I'm going to find another way to do that. But running, bike riding, all these things. So I do want to have the guides help me focus. I'm picking up the Labyrinth of Dragonshire deck to see, there's 3 points they want me to make. So I'm going to just shuffle, get us some cards. The cards are a portal for me. So 2 cards came out. There's one more. And I just saw you, where did it go? I just saw the You Are Toasted card, which is, I'm going to pull it out. It kind of goes, sometimes they kind of go by. It's like, it's not the main, and world changes are affecting you is coming out. Okay, so You Are Toasted comes out, and world changes are affecting you, and they're giving me more cards in my hand. So let's just start with these. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I know you can't see these. That's fine. This whole purpose of this is for you to like sit back or lay back. Put some headphones on and tune into my voice. There's probably going to be light language coming through, but use my voice as a healing tool, as a Reiki, to help clear your energy, to help you get going, to lift you back up again. The first 2 cards that came out together are Fun is Required Right Now And that's the letter on this Labyrinth of Dragonshire is a deck. It's a handmade deck. Each letter on the front of the deck spells, if I lay all the cards out correctly, spells Labyrinth of Dragonshire. And so the front of the fun card is an F, and the E card is not, it's not over till it's over, or is it? Only the heart knows, and that's the E card. So whenever I get these two cards together, F and E, that's the, what is it? The chemical symbol or whatever, the scientific symbol for Fe, which is iron, like strong, strength. So it's kind of like our strength card. How are you going to find your strength right now? You're going to find it by having a little bit more fun. These are like not new messages. Sometimes I'm kind of like, do you guys want us to just continue to deliver these same messages over and over again? And it's like people just need to keep hearing them. They need to keep, these same messages need to keep being reinforced because it builds they're saying it builds like a confidence in your auric field that you're not imagining your own guidance, I guess. So I can click with that. I kind of like it nowadays too when I draw my own cards, and then a reading may come on through, because I listen to readings mainly primarily through YouTube, but something can come on YouTube and exactly talk about the cards that I just drew, which I think that's fun for me. But however you get your fun with like your signs and your synchronicities and your serendipities, you're being asked to, drop into the lighter side of things. I do find when I'm having fun, I'm not so focused on, the wounded warrior thing. And right now for me, I'm feeling like the wounded warrior thing more in the physical body. I just feel like really exhausted. I'm really tired. Like achy joint. For me, it always comes out in like pain in the body, achy joints, like my lower back. I have to really be careful. And then sometimes with a certain type of energy that comes through, I can feel like I just don't want to move around very much. Like there's so much action that wants to happen, but my body's like, I just need to like sit still and stop moving. And I think it's more to like help ground in the energies that are coming in. So you are strong. You are a warrior spirit, no matter whether you're a masculine or a feminine, whether you feel like you've come home from this long freaking Grail Quest and you're like, I still don't have the freaking Grail yet. I haven't found it yet. And now I got to come back home and I got to prepare to go out on another freaking quest. Or whether you're the lady in waiting who's like, I'm just tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. All I do is like sit around the castle and, try to go about my daily life, try to get things done. It's hard when my masculine isn't here. It's hard. It's hard work. Yeah, I'm strong. Yeah, I can do it, but it's freaking hard. It's hard. It's hard to get through daily life sometimes without that support of that other individual. And I think in this case, we are sometimes talking about partnerships. I don't feel like the feminine is meant to go it alone. I know that is the life path of some feminines, but there's those of you out there that is not your life path, yet you are kind of forcing it to be through your fears and your, fear of past experiences and all that. But you're not meant to, I don't think it was, the Garden of Eden was not just Adam by himself or Eve by herself. It was Adam and Eve. And you can see that as the perfect balance of the inner divine masculine, divine feminine, which it was. But Eve was also created to be a companion for Adam, right? And I'm not going to go into all this biblical stuff, like the religious shit. But you're meant to have this soul family. And maybe for some of you, it's not a romantic partnership. Maybe your Adam or Eve is just like a soul family companion on your journey who's here to help you, right? It doesn't always have to mean that you're like a divine counterpart thing. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is what we're talking about here. It's like you're tired of being alone. You're tired of doing this stuff on your own. Even the masculine, even our lords, our knights out there Grail questing it, like, don't you get tired of the the Pogue life. So my Outer Banks is coming in for, I love Outer Banks. It's on Netflix. But anyway, don't you get tired of maybe some of you don't, just that like, I'm out here question it all the time. Like, I think that there needs to be, I think deep down, whether you want to admit it or not, you kind of crave that softness, that the emotional layer of the divine feminine. Not 100%. We're not saying that. We're not saying that all the time. That's like way too much. Because for the divine feminine too, it's like, do I want the divine masculine around 100% of the time? Probably not. I got my own shit to do too. But there's this coming home to yourself as well. It's like, am I in my divine masculine energy 100% of the time? No, I'd be completely, totally exhausted if I was. But I got to get into that divine masculine, Wonder Twin powers activate. I got to get into the form of the divine masculine to get stuff done. Because if I don't, nothing happens. And right now, for me, in my personal life, like if I don't be the divine masculine, like nothing would get done. It's kind of all falls on my shoulders here where I'm at, right? Like kids don't get food, dog shopping doesn't get done, house doesn't get taken care of, dogs don't get walked. Like all of that is, I have to be in my divine masculine energy, but I have to balance that with the divine feminine energy, which was like last night, my son and I were supposed to watch the last 2 episodes of Outer Banks. Like we said we weren't going to watch season 3 because we were like, no, it's just another thing. And then we got hooked right away. I knew I would. And now we've only got 2 episodes left, and we were supposed to watch them last night. And it's kind of like, I couldn't even fathom even sitting there and focusing on the TV. I just kind of like an automaton, like walked up to my room, closed the door. God, I was like, please just let me stop moving. Got into my bed. I don't even know what time it was. 7:30. Got my tablet, and I just sat there, and I'm like, I just want to hear music, and I just want to I did like mindlessly scroll Etsy looking at tarot decks and watching tarot deck flip throughs, because for me that was just kind of fun. And I was like, I hope nothing comes up that anybody needs, because I'm pretty much down for the count right now. So you are a strong warrior. You can do this. And today even, like, I've got to run. The closest grocery store that has what I need is Walmart. It's 30 miles away. It snowed 3 or 4 inches last night. I've got to get to Walmart. I'm out of some stuff, and there's more snow coming that's going to kind of keep me from going over the next 3 or 4 days. It's like, today is my window of opportunity. Do I want to do it? No, I don't feel like doing it at all. Honestly, I really just feel like sitting here with my head under the blanket, like, just not doing anything, just totally not having to attend to any of my responsibilities, but I got to go do it. So what I have to do here is I have to call on, this is for me, this is for you too. What I'm saying, I share a lot of personal experiences now, just because I'm thinking there's metaphors in there that will help you with whatever you're going through. But today I've got to call on spiritual life force and dragon fire to help me get there. Which was what happened to me the last time I was out at the store out there. I was starting to get really, really tired. I mean, and I was like concerned, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it home without having to like pull over halfway. I know it was only 30 miles, and it's 30 miles, like on a highway, I can go like 70, I can go actually 80, 85 miles per hour. So, but it still takes me 30 minutes or so. It's not the most fun thing to do. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I think I'm going to have to go slow, because I was just feeling really tired. And I was like, please, guys, you got to help me get home. And I got a phone call right as I was getting to the car from someone. And that person and I had a conversation like that lasted the whole way home. So I was like focused on the conversation, and I just got home like without, so sometimes it's like your mind, not that it's playing tricks on you, but sometimes your mind can talk you in or out of things, right? And so the more I kept saying like, oh, I'm tired, the more I was feeling tired, the more I was like, I don't think I can make it. This is like a metaphor for this whole journey too. I was like, I don't think I can make it. And I did ask, you have to ask for help. I was like, please guys, like to my guides, like, please, you got to help me get home. And right away, like help came through. Help came through in the form of this phone call. It was just enough of an animated conversation to where I wasn't thinking about being tired, and I drove fast and got home. And I was like, thank you, God, for helping me get here. So keep going. You are strong. You can do this no matter how you're feeling. Kind of like, not the word like self-parent, but kind of like use your self-mastery skills to get you where you need to be, to take care of your responsibilities, to get you in the right mindset and all of that good stuff. And can try to have some fun while you're doing it. Okay, the next two cards that came out together are healing is happening within you, allow, and that card has an H on the front. And then the other card is forward motion, and it looks like an O. So ho or hey-o. I don't know. Hey-o. What do we want to say there? Healing is happening within you, allow. That's kind of a very generic card. I'm going to pull from Spring Fling. Oh my God, she's so stiff to move today. I'm going to pull from Spring Fling just to see, as a clarifier, what we want to talk about there, because that's just so general. We got the Hangman. Good things take time. This is from my Spring Fling deck. So good things take time, the Hangman card. So I think we've already just kind of talked about this. Like, it's in the middle. So I've got 6 cards out. The F and the E were the first 2 cards. The H and the O are in the middle, and then the next 2 cards we're going to talk about are at the end of this thing. So the H and the O are kind of the middle of the journey. Sitting on top as world changes are affecting you and you are toasted. And there's this whole thing about healings happening, allow, and forward motion. But then at the same time, we've got the Hanged Man. So how can you have forward motion and the Hanged Man at the same time with this healing journey, this Grail Quest, this lady in waiting? Like, how can you be doing both at the same time? How can you be suspended yet not suspended? I think what the point that I want to make there is things are moving forward in the astral realm, like that whole thing, like Spirit's got your order, it's being prepared. And you're being asked to trust your intuition, trust the signs, the synchronicities that you're seeing. Good things take time. So I think when it's healing is happening, allow, this is the healing of what you want in your life. Because I feel like the things that you're trying to manifest are things that are going to bring you great healing, but you're not on that side of it yet. It's almost like you want something and you're afraid to have it. You want something and you're afraid to have it. And the healing is you using your self-mastery skills to try to understand why you're afraid to have something. And I talked about this, I think the March Energies episode, I did talk about this on a personal thing about the self-sabotage, for me, like self-sabotaging myself in a sense. And trying to understand, like, why am I not wanting myself to have this thing? Like, why do I keep like starting something and not finishing it? And that's the healing that's happening right now as well. All these energies that are coming through this month are helping you overcome these obstacles to your own success. For the lady in waiting, it could, who knows what it could be. Maybe the lady in waiting is kind of like, I want to go do the Grail Quest. Why doesn't the other person come home so I can go out and be the knight in shining armor? Heck, I don't know. Coming home to yourself. Clearing fears, clearing, stuff from the past. It just keeps coming up to be cleared, right? And sometimes it's a surprise what comes up. Sometimes it's just like, what? Are you joking? I thought I cleared this and now here I am doing it again. The layers of the onion, keep being peeled back to be cleared. And these are deep seeds in the chakras, and one clearing, one session with a shaman or a guru or whatever, one session is not enough, okay, to clear it. So I will just give an example because they're bringing this up to me. I think Master Ko had an example he shared at one time during one of his lectures. It was about like somebody's son quit their job or whatever and was just kind of hanging around the house, playing video games and, I don't know, just not really doing anything at all. Didn't want to do anything but sit around. And the mother, whatever, contacted Master Ko, and they were like, there's deep seeds in the, when they did scan or whatever, the chakras, they're like, there's really deep seeds in the root chakra that just whatever got triggered and caused this person to quit their job and just kind of go into like, I don't know, lazy mode or just sit around mode. And maybe they really needed a break. Who knows? But the example was that when the mom and the Master Ko, whatever, decided to start working on this person's root chakra, it was a kid. It was like a teenager. And I'm not going to go into the whole needing permission to work on somebody thing just yet. That's like a whole other episode. But for whatever reason, the mom had spiritual permission to work on this kid. And so her and Master Ko said they started working every day. It took them 2 weeks of clearing the root chakra before the person finally was like, oh, I need to go get a job, and then just went out and like got a job or whatever. It was kind of weird. I don't know. But the point they're trying to make with, like, don't get all caught up in the like deeper logistics of the example. But the point it was making was like 2 weeks of deep clearing in the root chakra finally gave this, clearing those old seeds. So it doesn't happen overnight. One session with a shaman, a guru, a Reiki practitioner is not going to do it. That's why you're supposed to be learning your own self-mastery skills, how to clear these things for yourself, because you want to go broke, like all these friggin' go broke. There's more to unpack there. I don't want to talk about it. But you don't want to spend a lot of money with other spiritual practitioners, giving your power away to somebody else. I think it is nice to be able to do that periodically, like get a nice little tune-up from a practitioner, but you want to learn how to do these things for yourself. And so part of the healing too is, I think, the time has come, warrior, for you to like learn how to work with your own energy field a little bit better, and take on some of those responsibilities for yourself. Okay. No saying that's all. So, Hanged Man, good things take time. Interesting message. All right, so at the end of this journey, the last 2 cards, it's the end of this journey, it's the end of this episode, we have the letter L, and it looks like it's sitting inside a dordle or a portal, and it's, why did you leave me? And there's like a stick figure on one side of the portal, and there's there's like a spiral on the other side of the portal, and then the other card to that is an F, and it says, fire, desire, passion, burn, sacral, no pain, no gain. LF. Is LF? Is that gas? I guess that's fire. Is that propane? No, it's LP. Never mind. I don't know. I want another card for this too. I'm going to draw from freaking Twin Hearts. All right, we'll draw from... I don't know why I avoid Twin Hearts so much this darn deck. I made it. Why do I avoid using it? I don't know. But I got to get it. Let's get a clarifying card from Twin Hearts. Oh, we didn't just get one card. There must be a lot of you divine counterparts or potential divine counterparts. This show is for specific people who are, I don't know. It's really for everybody. There's messages for everybody. Okay, stop here. So there's this portal with this, why did you leave me? And there's this F card with F. Fire, desire, passion, burn, sacral, no pain, no gain. And they got 3 Twin Hearts card. The first card is Twin Hearts. Do I know you, Tambers? This is from my book, Tamber and Jameson. Tamber said, ready for a fight or anything else for that matter. The most handsome man she had ever seen in the mortal world was standing before her now. So this is, in this book, this is where Jameson was her hawk familiar. And he, oh my God, this is just what we were talking about, the knights. He was tired of being a hawk. He was in love with Tamber. He wanted Tamber to know it. He wanted to show up to Tamber as a human man, not a freaking hawk. And so he went to Bringers of Light HQ. He told his boss, Highcore, like, I'm not going to be a hawk anymore. I'm letting myself, like, he became a familiar because he was trying to escape his feelings, things that were changing within him that he was afraid of, bad past relationships. Oh, why did you leave me? Bad past relationships, things he didn't want to face, emotional healing he didn't want to do. And so rather than continue to be a mortal man, he became a hawk familiar, and he told High Core, like, I'm just going to be a hawk, just assign me to someone. And he got assigned to Timbre, and she's like this very badass divine feminine. She's not from the planet. She came from off planet. And this part in this card is when he shows up, he passes her. Oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. He passes her, and he passes her as a mortal man, and she's like, those eyes look so familiar. And he's so good looking. And he wants to see, like, is she going to notice who he really is? And that's kind of like when they meet for the first time. That's kind of like their reunion in terms of like divine counterpart reunion. This quote is kind of like their reunion where she's like, do I know you? But she's not quite certain. She's got her guard up a little bit. She's like, well, if he's here to fight me, then I'm going to fight him. But she didn't really want to because she recognized something in his eyes that was very familiar to her. And it's not just because he was her familiar metaphor. It's not just because he was her familiar, her hawk familiar. It's because they were divine counterparts in separation. And he finally cleared what he needed to clear and was like, I'm mad as heck and I'm not going to take this anymore, which he really did. He got really angry about something. He's like, I'm not going to take this anymore. I can't be a hawk anymore. I'm going to go back to being a human. So, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So take this as you will. Whatever metaphors, whatever lessons are for you here, even if you were not, have no divine masculine externally that you're working on, and maybe, I think a lot of you, here's the thing, I think a lot of you divine feminine don't think you do have a divine counterpart, and either you do, but for whatever reason, they're not in your 3D reality right now. They're like working with you in the 5D. And I don't know, it depends on your life journey, your life path, your soul purpose, your soul mission, the blueprint that you all made for yourselves before you incarnated, of whether you will come out of separation in this lifetime and physically reunite with this divine counterpart or not. Hence this portal that's on this L card with this, why did you leave me, with the spirals and all that. I'm on the other side of it. On the other side of this, why did you leave me, is this great healing. Going back to the healing is having this great healing of coming into reunion. So you got to come into union with your own divine masculine, divine feminine inside of you. You've got to choose yourself before you can choose another. Let me see what the next card. There was 3 cards that came out. The next card is Paris. I love it. And it's got a couple. It's a very pink card. It's a couple looking out over the Eiffel Tower. And it says, I can't stop looking in your eyes. This is just what we just talked about. So in this example we gave of Timbre and Jameson, it was like the soul recognition was in the eyes. She didn't know in the case of the example, she didn't know the human Jameson. She didn't know what Jameson looked at. She knew Jameson was like a bird, right? It was a bird. Oh, that's funny. I saw birds this morning on someone's license plate. She knew Jameson as a bird. But when they passed each other, right away in the eyes, she saw the soul recognition. And right away she was like, do I know you? I know you guys have had this happen before. It doesn't just happen with divine counterparts. It happens with soul family as well. You kind of meet somebody. It could happen with, karmic partners in the past. Like, do I know you? Yeah. Oh, of course I know you, because we're supposed to interact and have some sort of soul journey together. There's a fire, there's a desire, there's a passion. When you look in the person's eyes, you don't know why. You don't know why that fire, desire, passion is there. You just feel it. It's because the hearts are connected in some way. There's some experience that's supposed to take place. But since I've got another Twin Hearts card as the 3rd card coming out to clarify the fire, desire card and the where did you leave me. And fire, desire, and burn and passion card is, to me, my divine counterparts card in this deck, only because that's the Rick James Tina Marie song. I just personally felt like they were divine counterparts who just could not get it together in this lifetime, could not heal their core wounds to be together. But the 3rd card that comes out is Twin Hearts. All this time I thought, I love this one. All this time I thought she was a ghost haunting me. Billy Tavish in Chaga and Chai. So Billy Tavish in my book, this is my book. I put quotes from my book. In Chaga and Chai, kept seeing Larimar McDougall. She lived in Ireland. Oh, Ireland came up today too. All these synchronicities. She lived in Ireland. He lived in the Pacific Northwest. And he kept having these like remote visions, I guess, or like yeah, like remote. He was having like remote visions of Larimar. He didn't know who she was. He had no idea that there was anything having to do with divine counterparts. And then she would have the same thing. She would have like these remote visions of this person in the Pacific. She didn't know it was the Pacific Northwest, but in his locale doing things. And he had like remote visions of her doing things. And they had no idea who the other was, but they kept being like, why does this keep happening to me? And finally, gosh, it's been so long since I wrote the book, I kind of forgot what happens. Maybe I need to go back and read that. Finally, the stars align. Everything comes into balance. Here we go. Everything comes into balance. And they come out of separation and they're able to meet in the 3D. And when he finally realizes all along these visions he's been having are a real person, because he thinks he's being haunted by a ghost. Every time he sees her, he's like, this ghost keeps showing itself to me. I don't know why I see this ghost like walking on the beach and doing all these things. And he goes to seek out the help of a psychic medium who tells him like, no, that's not a ghost. This is your soulmate. And he goes kind of on a quest, holy shit, to get to find this soulmate. He's led through a series of signs, serendipity, synchronicities on his path to this divine feminine in this case. And he's like, he finally realizes like, oh, it's my soulmate. It's my divine counterpart. It's not a ghost. It's a real person. So I don't know why we've been getting into, hold on. They just keep saying divine counterpart union, divine counterpart union, divine counterpart union. So it seems like it comes up in every thing so far, because obviously some of you want that. Some of you don't know you want it. Some of you are interacting with someone in the 5D who you feel them, you feel their energy, you feel their presence around you. You're sending, your 5D self is sending them songs and their 5D self is sending you songs. Someone is out there working with you through the 5D. Some of you are meant to come into reunion with this person in the 3D reality. Some of you are just meant, because you've got so much healing to do, like you have to decide for yourself. Am I going to take this healing on so that I can finally come into reunion? Or am I going to, I just feel like, are you going to just keep going the way you're going and deny this love? I feel like more and more I'm being pushed to talk about the divine counterpart journey. It's not uncomfortable for me. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe this is another thing I need to, I don't know why I don't want to talk about it. It's probably because, I'm calling that in and it's not here yet. And I'm kind of going through all these same things of like working with this ghost who's in the 5D who just keeps showing up, keeps sending me all these signs, serendipities, and synchronicities. And yet, there's no physical manifestation of this individual. So I'm kind of like, is this even really happening? So maybe that's why it makes me uncomfortable to talk about it. It's just kind of like, it's not here yet. I don't even know if I want to keep talking about it. And do I have to be an expert to talk about it? Because I'm not in some physical 3D divine counterpart union. Obviously not. Because I've been in this divine counterpart union in other lifetimes. And so I feel very, very, why do I keep saying very, 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 very qualified to talk about? What the hell is that? I don't know, whatever. I just kind of understand the logistics of it. So I guess I can talk about it. How long have I been blabbling? All right, 48 minutes. I want to wrap this up because this is a longer one. All right, so any final card? I'm going to go back to, they want me to use Palladian power just to wrap this up. yeah, because I feel like maybe my work will shift a little bit because Divine Counterparts Union Journey or whatever, I feel like I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours. All right, Pleiadian Power is the last two cards they want me to pull to sum it all up. So let's get back on track here. So, well, I am on track. You take these messages how they resonate with you. This is not just a transmission about divine counterparts. I think it's like a 50-50 split. But ultimately it is. Because they just keep taking me back to the Adam and Eve thing. Ultimately, even if you were part of a union where your divine counterpart has transitioned on, you are working, so many chills in my crown chakra. You are working with that person through the 5D, and their soul, a fragment of their soul is always with you and always within you. So attach these metaphors and these meanings and this lesson to your journey as you see fit. What doesn't resonate, obviously you leave that for somebody else. The last two cards out to sum up this whole thing are, it's okay. Things are happening behind the scenes that you can't see right now. Everything will turn out fine. And it's like a little girl crying, kind of like, oh, I can't have it now. A little girl crying with a hands holding like a crystal ball. And the other card to go along with that is Star Child. Nova couldn't take her eyes off the stars. She felt she had been there before, but that was crazy, or was it? So I feel like that's a lead-in to our next, our Series 3 episode. So it's okay, you guys. Everything is happening according to divine order. Your journey has been pre-planned, and you're not stepping off the path. You're on the right path. You're where you need to be. Just because you're the knight coming home to rest, or the lady in waiting who, can finally stop waiting a little bit because her masculines come home and it's just like, oh, maybe I can go out and do something for a little while. The whole divine counterpart thing, if you're waiting for some sort of physical manifestation of some divine counterpart union, or even if you're not, even if you're working in the 5D, like everything's happening according to divine will, divine order. Even if you feel like it's not. If something is supposed to happen in your 3D reality and you have not taken action on that thing yet, action's coming very soon. You will be guided to take the appropriate action at the appropriate time, hence the thing called divine timing. Blocks and things that have been put in your path purposely will be lifted. Spirit will lift those, Source will lift those, and you'll be able to move forward. And you'll get very clear guidance that it's time to move forward. You won't be wondering, like, is now the right time? No, it's not the right time. It's now the right time. You won't have any hesitation. There'll just be this flow of energy that pushes you forward, kind of like, like this comet or something. And you'll just know exactly what you need to do to just all miraculously, easily, effortlessly fall into place. There'll be nothing, it'll almost be like you're just, following some set of instructions that had been downloaded inside of you all along, but it wasn't time to run that program yet. That's kind of what I want. That's kind of where this Star Child comes into. It's like, it's not time to run that program yet. That program is sitting kind of dormant in your DNA. And I want to say it's the program of like what you need to do next. The next leg of the Grail Quest, the next leg of Series 9. The program's ready and waiting in your source code. You can get all techie. In your source code to run. And when it's time for that computer program to run, Star family, my star seeds, all my little star seeds, then you will be activated and you will know exactly what you need to do to move forward. Until then, take it easy on yourself. Oh, I keep hearing Rome wasn't built in a day. I've heard that a lot lately, and I say it a lot too. So Source wants us to get this out. Like, it all doesn't have to happen right this second, right here, right now. It's just like, take it easy, go easy on yourself. Let things play out naturally. There's no need to push or force anything. All right. Is there anything else we want to share? All right, so the guides are complete. I feel like the transmission is complete. I am so happy that you joined me here. I hope this has some messages that help lighten your load, lighten your day, and help you get motivated to keep striving, to keep moving forward. All my spiritual warriors, all my bringers of the light, all my starseeds, dragon keepers, wolf shifters, all the soul family here at TLC for the Soul. We love you all very much, and we will see you all again soon. Take care. Thank you for listening to this podcast. It has been brought to you by the Bringers of the Light, an etheric group of higher light beings focused on service to Gaia, humanity, and the self as it pertains to the spiritual journey. So they are here to support you on your path to love and to working with others. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.